talk a little bit about these things I'm talking about, 10 nutrition, fact versus fiction filters. And with that, I'm Alice Henneman. I'm a registered dietitian and a fellow of the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. Where I worked for most of my life was for the University of Nebraska Extension. And with that, I use this kind of information all the time because we try to always give out science-based information and just to help people in every way that we could. And the reason I think this is so important to me, and I think it's so important to us today, is that it makes such a difference in the quality of people's lives. It may save them time, money by having accurate information. It may definitely have an effect on their health. If we give some information that maybe delays people from getting treatment on time, we may affect their health in that way also. Finally, we affect our own credibility if people no longer trust us for the kind of information that we're doing. And the information that I'm giving out today is based upon this book, Communicating Nutrition, the Authoritative Guide. This was published by the Academy for Nutrition and Dietetics. It has information from 57 different practicing dietitians that work in the communications area. It has everything in it from food demonstrations to writing blog posts to search engine optimization to creating movies and so on. So it really is a great helpful book. I contributed chapter 5 on credible sources of information. Also, this book does have within it a link so you can get 14 free hours of continuing education credit. Okay, now what I'm going to talk about today are 10 fact versus fiction filters. And if you want to just put information into the chat box and share if you have something you want to add on that or a question on that, and we'll do our best to answer that. If not now during this presentation, because I'm afraid to refresh my screen again because of what happened, or even with my phone is a little wonky here, is to try to follow along on that. So anyway, if I don't get to you during this presentation, I will get to you later. That will remain up there. But just one of the first filters I want to talk about, and I think this is what I'm seeing so much now with the proliferation of social media, is just do you read the complete social media post before sharing article related to it. I saw that Neva was out there, and Neva's got a great website and a blog, and it's called, and that's Neva Cochran, Cochran, and her blog is Eating Beyond the Headlines. And she just has some great information of what the story behind the story is, what's behind that headline. That with that, she works with dietetic students a lot, and that's the first thing she always tells them, is read it beyond that headline. Before you eat it, read beyond the headlines or more about it. And there were some kind of scary studies that were done in this area. That one was by Columbia University, and they found that 59% of tweets were shared without people ever reading them. And of that 59%, of those 70% gave false information. So keep your credibility, keep giving accurate information to your clientele by just at least reading it before you share it. There was another thing that was put out by kind of a satiric science magazine, and it was an article called 70% of Facebook articles are shared without being read. And that was the title, that was the headline. And with it, if you read beyond that, it was just gibberish, just letters strung together. And it was shared 46,000 times. So read it before you share it. Okay, another one is, does a claim sound too good or bad to be true? And this obviously is, yeah, if it does, it probably is. Now, a lot of these are areas that, a lot of them weight control. You know, you eat this for 2 days and you'll gain 10 pounds, or eat this one food and you need any other foods you want to. Are there any other claims that you have heard a lot about that you might want to put into that chat box? And hopefully maybe others can see it, whether if I don't see something that's there. Okay, the third one is the author selling something. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean the information is not accurate, but always, when there's something being sold, look a little bit deeper, because you're going to spend your time, your money, maybe your health buying that product. How is it made? How is it researched? What experience have they had with it? And what is a person's qualifications for having such a material, for selling such a product? Another one that I came up with, the facts appear cherry-picked, slanted, or outdated. Cherry-picked, slanted, or outdated. And this one, there's often two sides to a different question, or two sides to a different area, but there may be thousands of studies that support one side and maybe two or three that support another. And maybe even as you look up those two or three, they may not be that accurate. So kind of think about that as you're putting out information. Does it appear cherry-picked, slanted, or outdated? I worked with a group of dietitians in reviewing some materials, and we just ended up rejecting them. And this was a project that, if it would have gotten published, it would have been rather prestigious for the people developing it, but it was just so cherry-picked, so much information slanted one way. Some of the data was rather old, that it was something that couldn't even be used. So think about this as you're putting the information out there. Are you picking out only the good bits? You don't have to just give as much weight to things that aren't as well supported, but it's helpful to let people know that maybe there are some other points of view on something. This other one, number 5, is a research conclusion founded on correlation or causation. And I think this is one, too, that we see a lot out there. And I think people don't often keep that real clear in their minds. And I see a couple more people have come on board. Again, I'm Alice Henneman, and I'm speaking on the 10 nutrition fact versus fiction filters used when evaluating nutrition information. Right now we're speaking on filter number 5 of correlation versus causation. And what excuse me, what correlation is that if one variable increases, another goes up proportionally or goes down proportionally the same. However, they do not necessarily cause each other. Now, one of the classic areas of this was a while back when they thought that polio was caused by ice cream. Well, I'm so thankful they researched that a little bit better and found that was not true. But what happened is that every summer, more kids got polio than any other time of the year. And what was happening in the summer? The ice cream truck was going around. They were eating more ice cream. So people started saying, oh, that must be it. That's happening, and it's the kids and so on. Well, luckily they studied this a bit more, did more research, looked at more things, and they found out that it was just the fact that the polio virus was stronger acting in the summer months than other months of the year. So think about, was it correlation or causation? Also, you might say, well, along this, well, people with brown eyes do more of such and such a thing. Well, yeah, because brown eyes are the most common color of eyes out there. So you could get a correlation, but not a causation. And in scientific research, the gold standard is kind of the study where neither the researchers or the people testing the product know which one they're using. So they're not biased by their opinion of what they think is going on. And we've heard a lot about this when we've heard about the testing of the vaccines for the coronavirus. Okay, the next one, number 6, is a recommendation based on a limited number of individual, personal, anecdotal experiences? Is it just based upon, oh, I did this and life was great, or after I started eating this food, I felt so much better? Well, a couple of things could be going on there. Always kind of keep your mind open to this. There's a thing called placebo power. If you believe it's going to be making a difference, it may well make a difference. And even physically, if you believe it's strong enough in your mind, there may be some, or at least you think you're feeling better. Or also, maybe there's something else going on there. Maybe a mother gives her child kind of a special diet that she's read about, and well, her child is all of a sudden feeling so much better, and oh, this is yeah. Well, maybe the thing that's going on is that child is getting so much more attention than before, and is much less cranky or happier and so on. So just be thinking about that. Number 7, does a person's degree or expertise qualify that person to offer advice in that given area? And there's a lot of information out there being given. Let me just check to see if I can. Oh, good. I can. Oh, good. I see a shout. Oh, good. Thank you, Lee, for giving me a shout out for Neva. She, again, if you didn't hear me earlier, Neva Cochran. And Neva, if you're on, write in the chat box, right where your blog and website is, because Neva has a lot of information on eating beyond the headlines. It's just good stuff to check up on things, and also does a lot of presentations on this. But number 7, just so the person's degree or expertise qualify that person to offer advice in that given area. There are a lot of persons with PhDs or MDs recommending certain dietary plans, other kinds of recommendations, and we all know them. We won't mention names here, but yeah. I see Leah's got some examples. Yeah, of examples. Oh, good. Neva, put down your website and that so people can visit that of eating beyond the headlines in your blog. Because I think it just has some great information for how people should look at evaluating information to kind of go beyond what we're talking today. But with that, to the degree that, if the person's degree may have nothing to do with diet, maybe they're just kind of interested in the diet, or they think that it's something that will sell a book for them. And I think we can think of those examples. With that, though, you wouldn't go to a dermatologist to do heart surgery, or vice versa if you wanted maybe a little tidying up or done to your face or something. But anyway, with that, also think about where do they even get that degree? There are diploma mills out there. There was a while back where a lot of people were sending in to get their degree for their cat or dog, and one of the most famous was a degree given to a Dr. Zoe D. Katz, K-A-T-Z, a house cat. So just think about, does their degree qualify them? Oh, I love that, Dawn. Great one there. I'm just tired of the commercial about the fruits and vegetables in a pill. Now, look at that one. That kind of gets into, actually, this next one. Oh, and great. Yeah, celebrities are not experts. Again, that's the thing, too, where their expertise may qualify them to act, but not necessarily something else. But that health halo thing, and kind of like what Vaughn mentioned, the fruits and vegetables in a pill. Well, that health halo relates back to if people think that a certain food is a really healthy food, is good for you, and so they mention that maybe that food or that ingredient is part of a product, and that's why you should buy that product. And they say like that fruits and vegetables. Well, this pill's got to be good because it's got fruits and vegetables in it, but what else is missing from those fruits and vegetables in that pill? Dawn, what are some of the things that you especially get frustrated about that is missing in there? I'm thinking like there's probably not any or hardly any fiber in there. There may not be any micronutrients in there. An example that I thought about too was like, say there is a muffin. High fiber is what they say. Oh, buy this. However, it also may be low in nutrients because it may be made of unrefined, maybe made of refined flour. It may be high in calories because of lots of sugar and fat. And maybe the fiber is just from added bran. I see Susan is saying that it drives her nuts when exercise people give false info. You know, isn't that, because there's, to become a dietitian, you do an undergraduate degree, you do a competitive then application for taking a dietetic internship before you go out into the world of practice as a dietitian. Plus, you have to take a exam to become a dietitian, and you have to, every 5 years, you have to renew your certificate or your dietitian status by completing a certain number of continuing education hours, or 75 continuing education hours. So, it's a much different standard than, say, somebody that's just is an exercise person, unless that's maybe a degree they have on top of being a dietitian. Now, also with that, up here, Don is saying vine ripen, they dry them and charge more for them. Just kind of look beyond those health halos, because some of those foods may not be that angelic when you look a little bit closer. These are great comments in there. Okay, number 9 is a recommendation based upon limited research. Anymore we hear a lot about something before, when the first research is done. But then, how much more research is done? Is that beyond that? Is it time to make a major change in your diet, or the kinds of recommendations you give based upon just one research study? Maybe there was just a kind of a correlation in there. I see somebody's going to... Oh my gosh, yeah. Some personal training programs of the certified nutrition coach. Yeah, just again with the dietitians, we're often referred to as registered dietitian nutritionists, which is way different from nutritionists, because there's really no specific qualifications for being nutritionist. But the course of a dietitian, you do need that degree, that some kind of that qualified work experience, and you need that pass a test, and you need that continuing education. Now I'm watching my clock here, as I mentioned. When I got started, most of my, and I have in my thing on a description that pretty much I'm a lifelong nutrition educator. And a lot of the time I spent was with the University of Nebraska Extension. And with that, use a lot of this information, and I want to kind of help continue the education for everybody and just tell you a little bit about, I promised that there would be a drawing for this book, and the time frame ends tomorrow, Saturday, the 12th at 1 o'clock Central Time. And here's how you enter the drawing. Then I've got one more filter after this. But you just visit my blog at alicehenneman.com, and you scroll to the 10 filters. And I'm also going to type this into the chat box too. I'm pretty mess it up again until I get through what I wanted to tell you. And that's something I'm doing on my part, so it's not the Build Up Dietitian Network. But I've learned, and I'm still alive, and so I encourage you, if somebody invites you to do one of these, say yes. Make yes your default answer on stuff. But just scroll to 10 filters, and in the article, and this will take you to an article related to this, and there's a comments section at the bottom. Just tell me what your favorite filter is. If you'd like to say something else in there that maybe I didn't reply to or anything, just put that in there also. But doing that, you'll have to give your name and address to do that. I will not be saving those for anything beyond just contacting whichever name I get drawn out, and I'll kind of use a random number type of deal to do that. And do that by 1 p.m. Central Time, Saturday the 12th. Oh, okay, thank you. Lee just said I could go a little bit longer since some problems at the beginning. Well, we'll just kind of see how it goes. I'm out, and if there's some questions, I've got the one filter left to do. I'll put this information in there. In fact, I've got it already typed out here. and how you can enter the drawing. And I've got the one filter left. And we'll see if there's some questions yet after this. I don't want to cut you short either, but thank you for coming back again after I lost you. The last one, did the experimental design eliminate other causes? And, think about that of, was it really the thing that they were investigating that made the change? Or was there something else in there? Like, one of the things that you often see is, oh, people that ate this were healthier than those that didn't. But maybe people that ate that one food also were more likely to be exercising. Maybe they didn't smoke. Maybe they didn't drink. It's hard to tell what was the real cause. Or sometimes the food is made to look bad, or it's called it's not very healthy, but it may be that there's something with it that that maybe it takes up too much of your diet, and so it's not the food itself, it's how much you eat of it, and it's maybe the amount of it. Plus, by eating that one food, you may fill up on it and not have some healthier things in your diet. For example, I'm thinking of like that traditional meat and potatoes diet. Are the meat and potatoes all that bad, or is it maybe the amount of those in that you're eating, and in turn that you're not eating much in the way of a more plant-based diet, more fruits and vegetables, and so on? And that's a conversation that's a lot of variables, a lot of answers to it, but just kind of think about, are there other things also that may be causing that? Okay, that is kind of the information that I wanted to present. I have 1128 here. Again, I've got the information on how you can enter the drawing for the book. And also, you can download, if you want to have like these slides that I was showing you today, there's a link down there to download them. I think I have a link there to Neva's thing, or at least in the article I have a link to Neva's blog also, if you miss it on here. Just some great information in it. Also, you can find out more of who authored the book that I've been telling you about. You can read a sample chapter. I know what Barb Mayfield, are you on here? Barb was the editor of this book. I don't know how she ever herded 57 dietitians together to produce a book. Amazing. Somebody, yeah, Barb, got a thumbs up for Barb. Amazing job. Patient lady. So we'll link to some more information she's put out there. Boy, this book is a $89.99 value if you're not a member of the Academy. It's $69 if you are 99 cents if you are a member of the Academy. So, do check this out if it's something you think might be helpful. As I said, anything we're talking about money, check out what it is, see if it meets your needs, and so on. But here's your chance to at least get a free copy. And with that, also down there I have a link to, if you're just in for just pure fun, I put together a link also at the, I have these related materials at the bottom of this article, and I have related materials where downloading the PowerPoint that I kind of showed you, and it's free, that I showed you today, but also a PowerPoint that shows my 14 favorite food cartoons. And you're welcome to take these apart, use whatever you want to. I've just got an identification of where they're from at the bottom, so you don't have to worry about citations or anything. So, go there and enjoy the cartoons if some of this other part maybe doesn't meet your needs now. Well, I see 11:30, and I think there's no other questions here. I'll double check after it's over, but otherwise, we will end our video, and thank you for your patience and staying with me. This was fun. Thank you.